YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Big Pharma Strategy and Tactics. So yes, Big Pharma. You've probably seen this game before on my channel. Probably about 2 to 3 times previously. What can I say? It is one of my favorites. It's my comfort game. You know, I get an urge to play this, and you know, from time to time, all the time. It has stood up to the test of time. It is just an absolutely fantastic game. For those of you who have never seen this before, this is a game about being a drug company. You're manufacturing cures and treatments for profit. And it's got some nice mechanics in terms of organization, logistics, and other business savvy things. So let's dive in, shall we? And to make things a little bit spicier, we've previously done our series on the advanced setting with all the unlocks. We're going to go and do a scenario in crippling debt. So we start out with $100,000, but we are actually $250,000 in debt. So yeah, and we have a big fat loan payment to go with that. So we're up against the wall from the get-go. So let's do Rising from the Ashes. We need to get a total revenue of $2 million within 10 years. Now, as far as our CEO goes, with the DLC, they introduced perks, and I really like this whole system. Our CEO is going to be mixologist because, well, mixologist is locked in. That is no question. The multi-mixer and centrifuge are 2 of the best machines in there. I'll explain how they work and why they're so good once we get there. But trust me, it's really good. Now, for the other one, local networks is one of my favorites. Slogan writers, good. Like, there's a number of other really good perks. I'm going local networks only because we want to turn a profit as quickly as possible, and having ingredients have a permanent initial 50% discount will make both our early drug lines and our later drug lines all the more profitable. Not to mention, once we start bringing in multiple ingredients to multi-mix into our recipes, cutting the cost of the said ingredients will be helpful to our bottom line. So, local networks it is. Tests it is. Let's go. All right, tip number 1, pause, especially in this game, especially in this scenario with the crippling debt, because you're going to start getting eaten alive by interest payments and repayments as soon as you let the time flow. All right, so let's see. Ooh, we've got the wheel. I think we started with this particular layout in one of our earlier series. Pretty good for a multi-ingredient build. Not that we can start using that right away. So one of the things I like about the game, random ingredients. I mean, within certain things. I don't like either of these, though, because not only are they 2 steps away from being active in their ingredients, they both come with side effects that cannot be easily dodged. Blah. Blah, I say. This is going to be an interesting early game. Well, we might as well set up... So for those of you not familiar with the way the game's mechanics work, so everything has a concentration level from 1 to 20. At any given concentration levels, a drug can have their ingredients, their curing effect active. So from for this stuff, if we get the concentration between 5 and 12, then it becomes a painkiller, and we can sell it. We get paid for that. Unfortunately, it comes with a side effect, and both of these side effects are in parallel with the cures, meaning that we can't escape the side effect easily. That's not to say that we can't escape it at all, but at least our initial drugs are going to be side effect laden, and that's going to hurt sales. That being said, we do need to get some sort of throughput going sooner rather than later. Also, the more you manipulate a drug, the more it costs. So neither of these are good. So I'm going to start off, let's hire an explorer. Let's find something better. Body response, digestion, or just a booster with a catalyst. I think digestion probably. Again, it's a random thing. I don't actually know if it's going to be good. It might be just as awful as the others. But we shall see. Now, one thing we could do here is thinking about tier 2. These are just the tier 1 cure effects. If we go in and meet the conditions and run it through a machine at the correct concentration, we will upgrade it to the next level, to a tier 2 cure, and that pays more. We still have to deal with the side effects, but, well, let's just see. Let's just get our initial things off the ground first. So painkillers, I'm going to get one of each going here. One pair each. So we'll get that, and that needs to be reduced by 2. So starting out, we only have these things. Dissolvers reduce it by 1 every time you process it, and evaporators increase it by 1. So you run it through 2 dissolvers, and you're good. Actually, we should probably, because of the way these things orient themselves, we probably want our input over here. And we will get our pill printers over here. That's the only thing we have. If we back you guys up just a smidge. That might be a little bit more conducive to an efficient pill printer placement. Because I like to keep my builds really compact. There we go. So that will give us that. Now let's set up another pair with our other pair here. Then yeah, we need to boost this up by 2. Again, we're gonna be running into these, but depending on the sweet spots of the cures, which is basically there's one specific concentration randomly decided that is where a drug is at its most effective. And the closer you are to that, the more benefit you get out of it and the higher the drug rating is. That being said, side effects have a hot spot where a specific concentration is where they are at their worst. And the further you are from that, the less impactful they are. So depending on the natural distribution of sweet spots and hot spots here, one of these two might be a lot better than the other. Now there's a machine that we can research to give us the exact numbers, but right now we don't have that. So we're just going to be guessing. Well, not guessing. We're going to be testing it through the market, essentially, which is, I'm sure that's the proper way to test drugs. Just sell it to people and see if they get, better or get more sick. That's the way things work, right? Our main goal, we are aiming for loftier things, but our main goal is just to stem the bleeding. Also, speaking of, we need 2 scientists. 2 scientists, and I might have one of them work on an ionizer right away, because I'm thinking we might want to be going for the tier 2 cure for hypertension, for treats and angina. Because let's see, treats angina, $290 is much better, and the active range is pretty sensible too. We might actually be able to dip below. Yeah, actually, at a 6 and a 7, treats angina will be active, but increases blood pressure won't. So we could dodge the side effect and get a better cure. I think that's probably the smart move here. Now, we do need the ionizer, which means we need to research it, but I think it's absolutely worth getting into. In the meantime, we'll set our initial stuff up here. And also, pill printers have a cycle time of 2, so you need 2 of them in tandem to have to process a fully saturated belt here.
Product name required.
Oh yes, our good friend, the product name. Well, we've got our name in game patrons. So let's go with, let's see, Nimmy's Relaxant. If you want your name in game, take a look at a link to my Patreon below. I got an achievement for selling a product that relieves hypertension and increases blood pressure.
Product name required.
Oh, that's kind of funny. That's really kind of funny. Okay, painkiller. Oh, let's go with Valium Rook, named after our patron Valium Rook. Right then. So over time, we will see, based on these, how we're going to get positive bump ups from the efficacy of the cure, but we're also going to get negatives from the efficacy of the side effect. And again, depending on how the sweet spots and hot spots shake out, one of these might be much better than the other. But that's the nice thing about this game. Even if you get dealt a rather raw hand, and I'll say this is a rather raw hand of random ingredients, with enough creativity, you can make them work. You can find a profitable avenue. Right then. So let's see how we're doing here. So you can see, like, out of the total administered, how many of them are actually curing the thing that they mean to cure, and how many of them are causing the side effects. This one, Valium Rooks, I mean, both of these are kind of iffy. Yeah, because this one's not very, it does not have good efficacy, and this one's causing a lot of side effects. So both of these are getting into C's and D's, so not a great way to start. I'm not going to be hanging my hat on that. One thing I will do, when you have an idle researcher, they generate research points. You can invest those into your existing machines to upgrade them. So, for example, we upgrade the pill printer, and now it makes our drugs $3 more, it increases their base value by 3. I'm not going to, normally I'd be like maxing out to try and get as much machinery down before our loan interest eats us alive, but I think we need to wait for that to get the tier 2 cure, because neither of these tier 1s are really going to do it for us. Now the other option here, is this. So we need to drop it down by 4 because our initial ingredient starts at a 14. So we need to drop it by 4. That's a lot of processing. Hit it with an evaporator, and then actually it's not too far off. It's not a great profit though. 208 versus 290. There is a lot of demand though, so we could rinse and repeat that a lot. Actually, because we're researching the ionizer, which drops it by 3, that actually might make both of these a little bit more viable. Now, the other question is, so a 5 to a 9, what is your side effect? Oh, actually, you can easily dodge your side. So both of these work so much better as a tier 2 than a tier 1. And then we have this coming in line, so we might have something from there. But I'd rather be selling these than nothing. And don't worry, my patrons, your names will be reused to your upgraded cures, because I'm not going to let you languish on a D-class pill that we immediately stop using. Or stop producing.
New ingredient discovered.
All right, what do you got? All right, so see, this is one where you can go tier 1 without running into the problem here. In fact, I think it would be wise to just, because we just need to increase the thing immediately. Let's just import. Just change what we're importing here. Keep the machinery the same, and then yeah, let's research. Go in body response. So that might be a viable tier 1.
Research complete.
All right, we have our ionizer. Let's start working on basic auxiliary, because that leads us to the multi-mixer, where great things. We can take our drugs from good to great. But for now, I think it is time. All right, so hang on. So for the painkiller, let's buy another thing here. So our painkiller, let's just, selling machinery only gets you
Invalid position.
half of your stuff back, so I don't want to delete them or sell them. So, all right, so we want to hit you with an ionizer, which drops it by 3. Yeah, guess we'll go this orientation. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we do need to drop you by 1 more. All right, that's good enough. So that puts you at a 10. Oops, what am I doing? There we go. So that puts you at a 10. Once you're at a 10, we hit you with an evaporator. Yeah, that's fine, because we can loop it around. That will upgrade your cure. So let's let the machinery run here a little bit.
Product name required.
Ooh, Cameron's. Berry steak OD cure. So when you OD on steak and you have acid reflux. Wait a minute. What happened to our... Oh, did we happen...
A competitor has released a new product.
Yeah. So causes constipation. You can actually you can obliterate the side effect naturally, and we just do that. We just got lucky on that. Not that the constipation was causing us any problems, but now that makes this a little bit more versatile to mix with other drugs. So that's a good thing. All right, what's our competitor? Eases migraine. Yeah, they're going straight into migraines just like we are. I kind of figured they were going to do that because they are also playing by the same rules. They are you can't see their stuff, but they have to work with the same ingredients I do. So the stuff that is great for me is great for them too, and the stuff that sucks for me kind of sucks for them too. But at least it's fair that way. So yeah. I'm not going to go too crazy with that, but yeah, then we hit that with a pair of dissolvers to bring you back down, and that's all we need. Now, is that the sweet spot? Maybe, maybe not, but it gets us where we need to go. And it doesn't take up too much space, so huzzah. And there's also enough demand for anti-migraine stuff that I'm not too worried about this as a whole. Now let's get cracking with the other one, since our competitor hasn't dipped into that one yet. The hypertension here. So we got to drop it by 1 and then ionize it, which is going to drop it again. And then we got to bring you, Well, actually, yeah. We have to bring it back up, which is going to require a lot of evaporators, but still might be worth it. Well, like I said, I'm going to do one of each and see how they shake out. Oh yeah, what do we need for this? So this one we need to boost up by 3. Hit it with an evaporator. I'll consider it. Let's do one of each. Again, we want to see which ones work out the best. All right, so we dissolve you once. Yeah, it should be fine. And then we need to ionize you to transform the drug, which actually that fits in nicely. And then we need to evaporate a whole bunch of times, or wait until we get the agglomerator. But we only need to boost you up by 3. I can handle 3 evaporators. Yeah, it should be fine. And then we get a couple of pill printers up here. And we have our next cure here. Beautiful.
Product name required.
All right. Valium Rook XL.
Product name required.
Nimigard. That's much better. All right, we can probably get away with a little bit of a premium here. We also see just from the get-go, the Angina is a much better daily. Well, actually, that's just the daily profit. We can see what the makeup. So we're making $231 on each of these, which is absolutely fantastic. Compared to Valium Rook XL, yeah, we know what one we are going to be going into.
A competitor has released a new product.
Yeah, good luck with that. All right, I think what I might do is I'm going to buy this plot over here, just so that I can make another run of Nimigard, because we supply one a day per full line, and the market here has a demand of 2.8. Now, as you get closer to the maximum market demand, it becomes harder and harder to move that last amount. So I think a second line is viable. A third line, I mean, the market can't handle a third line. But at the very least, we can milk this for a second line. And then, yeah, we can look into stomach ulcers. But I definitely want another line of Nimigard here. So we are going to dissolve and then ionize. Yeah, this does not have the copy paste functions of, like, say, shapes, for example. But I mean, given the nature of this, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of standardization to be had. Yeah, we can have that. And then we just need our pill printers in tandem. Oh, I thought the door was a... Never mind. Oh, wait, no, I got it right. Oop. I am blocking the entrance. I misread that. Yeah, unfortunately the orientation doesn't go our way. In which case, probably do something like that. The order of operations is very important here. Yeah, that works. And that works as well. All right. It's going a little bit against the grain for the... Oh, for Pete's sake, hang on. That's better. There we go. And that's one of the more satisfying things of this game is making super compact builds here. Trying to cram as much machinery in there. It is a little puzzle game-esque in that fashion, but I like that. It makes me happy. All right, let's take a look at our ratings as they develop here, just to see where we are with hot. We can get rid of these ones because we're not going to be selling those baselines. These are all still sitting at C's, but at least we don't have side effects to dodge here. We are building up a little bit of a stock here. That means that you're producing more than the market wants to absorb at the moment, which is understandable. All right, we got basic auxiliary. Let's get our multi-mixer. The star of the show.
New ingredient discovered.
And, oh, there's the diabetes pupils. They're certainly not worth going for tier 1. Now, mind you, there is something that can help mitigate these symptoms if you have no choice but to have a side effect. The creamer, making your drugs into a medicated cream as opposed to a pill, reduces the effect of the side effects, making them way less heavily on your drug sales. All right, you need to get up to, so you need to be boosted up by 3 and then get ionized before we can turn you into hyperthyroidism. What does 11 to 15? So hyperthyroidism will let us dodge the side effect here. But before we start setting up singular lines, I want my multi-mixer.
A competitor has released a new product.
Yeah, good luck with that. I tried that before. It didn't work that well. We are thankfully making money. So letting our cash build up a little bit. I mean, our loan is absolutely massive and at a 20% interest rate. Spread over 6 years, so the daily payment is not that awful, but it's still a big mountain of debt that is going to be sitting on our shoulders. All right, but we are making good progress here. Did I assign? We did not assign you to that. Let's start working on our thing. Actually, we're gonna let you finish that first pip of here, because yeah, we start with 50% discount, but we can get even more discounts, which is fine by me. Not that any of the stuff has gotten too expensive. Actually, this stuff has gotten a little, because our competitor is using it. The more, because it counts how much our competitor uses it, so that will impact the pricing. So yeah, we'll use that to, now we're at a 60% discount. Now you can go start researching the dragon beetle. Oop, and our profits are dying. What's going on? All right, acid reflux is a no-go. We need to let's refactor that. Also, Nimigard. Nimigard, we are not in a good spot for Nimigard. That's unfortunate because we have 2 lines of the stuff. So that means we're probably far from the sweet spot. That's the issue at hand. Let's just sell you for a discount for now, so we're actually selling our stuff. Valium Rook is much naturally closer to our sweet spot. But let's take a look at, actually, you know what? before we go too crazy with that, I want to see what kind of shenanigans we can get going with our multi-mixer. Because there are some, well, in our next episode, I will show you the joys that is the multi-mixer. And we can start brewing a much, much better cure. One that does several things at once. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, it's been Pinstar signing out. See ya!